All right, everyone. Good afternoon. We are here today for a special broadcast. I'm so glad that you can join us. As always, this is The Conduit. I am your host, Marwan Cameron. I'm so glad that you could be here today. As you can see on the screen, I have some folks here today and someone who needs no introduction, Deborah Jackson. I'm going to pass it on to her. But as you saw here, our voucher is ending. I'm going to let her just take it right from the top. First, I want her to introduce the guests that are here in the room, and then I want her to explain why we are here today. So, Deborah, thank you for coming here today and convening this podcast. Will you first introduce the guest, and then will you please explain why we're here today?
Thank you, Mr. Marwan Cameron, for having us on your show so that our voices can be heard. I have over here to our far left, Lanisha.
I'm Khalif. Anthony Moore.
And thank you for having us. The reason why we're here today, because these individuals are clients of the Bremerton Housing Authority here in Bremerton, Washington. They received notice, a letter, that their emergency housing voucher is ending December 31st, 2026. And right now they're devastated and they're confused and there's no answers from Bremerton Housing Authority. Is there a fix? Or there's no answers for anything that we just prior had a meeting on.
Oh, it was a Wednesday on the 12th.
Yes, a Wednesday at 4 o'clock with Wendy Westby. Several of the clients had questions and she couldn't answer. I do have to commend her for hearing them out and letting them express their feelings because it was very intense. Number one thing, the emergency housing voucher is supposed to last till 2030.
So let me ask some questions as we go forward. What is the emergency housing voucher? How did it come to be, first of all?
It came to be, it was given out during COVID.
Okay,
and those funds and everything, that voucher was emergency housing voucher to get people from being homeless in their cars, in which it was a good program. The fundings in the program are supposed to last till 2030. Well, it seems like this new administration and Olympia decided to go ahead and end the program early. Actually, Wendy Westby told us on Wednesday that they were ending it in 2025. But the executive director, Jill, came up and they found some money to carry it another year. That we're just wondering what happened to the funds that were allocated till 2030. Then we found out during the meeting, other voucher programs were going to be ending too. Like the SHP voucher ends July of 2027. So we have 30 people that's on this emergency housing voucher that's going to be homeless without house on December 31st. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Wow. So 30 families are going to lose their voucher here December 31st of this year, and they were supposed to have it to the end of 2030.
Yes, correct.
And what are they being told? What was the reason for this?
There's no more funding. There's no funding. The funding has been depleted. Is that not what we were told?
Yeah.
Yes, that the funding was being depleted and there's no more funding. And it was out of the Bremerton Housing Authority's control is what Congress, this administration used their words. And so my thing was that there was a lot of tenants, which were two of these individuals, Tony and Khalif. Well, attended the meeting on Wednesday that Wendy Westby held, and she couldn't answer any questions. The meeting was put together to answer questions, and she couldn't answer any questions. And that's what made the meeting so frustration for it. But my thing is, I did question her and asked her about the CMS money, the PHA funding, and then also Mr. Moore and I believe Dee and another young lady that was on. They had asked about the tenant
Tenant protection.
Yes.
The tenant protection voucher. Yeah.
Yes, and Mr. Moore had done some research, which a few more of the other tenants, clients of VHA that was online, had did research on that. That the other, we found out, King County, Pierce County, they're using that program for their clients. But since Bremerton Housing Authority cannot use and will not use that program, or not going to use that program for our tenants here, our 30 clients, due to the fact is that they're at a shortfall.
So I'm just unclear, Deborah, if you have a emergency housing voucher and this voucher is supposed to be funded through 2030, then when you say funded, there's supposed to be funds that are earmarked until this time is done, right? So where's the money?
And this is what the clients, they were asking, where is the money? Where did it go to? Where did you shift it to? All we know, Bremerton Housing Authority is at a shortfall. All as I know is when I did attend a board meeting, I believe back in September or October, but I know this for a fact, they were using December's money to pay October's rent for the Section 8 vouchers. So I'm assuming that's where, and I did say it in the meeting, and when he didn't say I was lying or, say I was wrong, they were using December's funds to pay October's rent. So if you imagine, if you keep doing that, that told me that's where one of the shortfalls is. Not enough funding.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just want to add that the tenant protection voucher is a HUD allocated funding for housing, and it's all over the internet. The government, this Trump administration, allocated $601 million in this HUD voucher program, and that's what she's referring to, and that's the discretion is access. What does Bremerton Housing, do they have access to this funding?
Okay.
And what's the criteria?
But I guess I'm still confused, because at the time that the emergency voucher was established to help these 30 families, then you say, okay, we're going to help these 30 families to this date. Then you're saying that, hey, this is what it's going to cost. We're going to fund it to the tune of, let's say, $2 billion. If that's what it costs, then that $2 billion should be earmarked and set aside. And now the money has run out. So where's that money? To me, it doesn't seem like we should be looking at Trump and his administration to say, hey, do we need to tap into this $616 million to see if we can have access to the funds? Those funds should $6.61 million.
Yeah, 6.1
billion should tap into this money. That money should already be there. And then my other question is it's all over the internet, but when did you guys find out that you weren't going to have funding past December 31st?
When did you receive this letter?
I just recently received it last week.
Last week?
Last week. All of them and they've been known about it since 2024.
I've had the thing that said we was going to be in for about a couple months now, maybe a month and a half. So I've known it for about a month and a half.
So you've known for a couple weeks. You've known a month and a half.
On the 5th of July.
The 5th of July. And you're saying 2024? They've known?
Yes, because they were going to end it. And this is what was told in our meeting on Wednesday. They were going to end it in 2025.
Yep.
That's what Ms. Wesley said. But they were able to find some money and to carry it another year.
So in 2025, did they let tenants know that there was a chance that this could end?
No.
To forewarn and prepare folks that, hey, there's a chance that this could happen?
Nope. Didn't you know about that either?
They just told you the dates that, they received it. That's why people are so frustrated and irate in the meeting, due to the fact that you sat on this and then bring awareness. Some people have been doing their case management, because with that, people have been under a case manager. They're in recovery. Mm-hmm. Some have disability children, single parents. They've been doing what they're supposed to do to keep their voucher, being compliant. And then now, the one young man, he said he was worried about relapsing.
Yeah.
He said he don't want to relapse, but he's about to be homeless, and he has a handicapped, disabled child. Another young lady, which she was unable to be here tonight, which she has a severe disabled child. and just now finna be homeless. They don't know what to do. But the only thing that did come out of this is that if they pour it out, they can go ahead and pour it out to another housing authority because they just had somebody poured out to Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And
They got
Pennsylvania
transferred
took
this
them
time.
and they were able to use that money. Other housing authorities is using that money.
Okay, so for folks that don't know the terminology, what does port out mean?
Port out means that you can take your voucher out of this county, out of this state,
Okay.
to another housing authority. That
Now-
means port out.
Now, how fast is that and how practical is that? Because, like, I've got a 14-year-old daughter. So that would be very upsetting to her to have to go to Pennsylvania or anywhere else and leave her friends, for me to leave my life here and to port out and go and move to another place and,
In
and
other words,
relocate.
well, some of them won't even have a choice if they want to problem solve. And that was the earliest fix, the fastest fix that was told.
So what is the process to porting out and how
Port out.
fast can you do
You
it?
notify your case manager, your specialist.
Mhm.
You notify your specialist, I want to port out. You contact that housing authority
Hmm.
and then let them know you got to find you a house there. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And then they do the port out papers. Bremerton Housing Authority speaks with the other housing specialists and they all get all the paperwork and get your paperwork together so that you can be able to port out.
So then I'm assuming that this family knew someone in this new area that they're
Correct.
moving
Yep.
to,
Correct.
right? So then there's that piece also, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to pour it out somewhere that you don't know. And you, I mean, wow.
Well, I just educated one of my clients. I explained to her last night on the phone that she could pour it out. She has family in Texas. I
Mhm.
told her as soon as Monday come, she needs to get on it and have her family members, her mom and her dad and her brother and everybody's in Texas, and she's the only one left here. If she can get them to act fast, you know what I'm saying, right now, and get her ducks in order to go ahead and pour it out. That's the only way I could get information I can give her so she won't be unhoused.
So you got folks that are, as one option, porting out, and school is about to start. You have
Yeah.
folks that were supposed to be here today that couldn't come because they have special needs children.
Yes.
So now they're trying to maybe port out with special needs children. I mean, this is insanity.
And then some of them can't port out. They have nowhere to go, no funds to move. You know what I'm saying? No, they don't have the funding to
Mhm.
move. What do you have? Okay.
Go ahead.
thank you
We
for
can
that.
hear you. Did you
Oh,
want to say
thank-
one final thing?
Oh,
Is
you
porting
said
out
you
an
had a
option for
question.
you?
Yeah, I just wanted to know the options that they were actually going to give us. And I see you said porting out. That is a lot.
Mhm.
That is a lot. Uprooting. I have 3 kids, and they're all 7 years apart. So, and having to leave my family that's here, my mom who's here, and all that stuff as an option. That's my security. So
Mhm. Your support system.
Yes.
Yes.
To leave that
Right.
and go elsewhere to a new environment and try to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
that is a lot.
And that due to the fact is they were saying some people were blessed when you did state
Mm-hmm.
that other housing they don't have to take you now into their regular program. This is what Wendy said. They don't have to take you, but those people that did pour it out, the one lady to Pennsylvania, then I just found another lady poured it out to
Mhm.
Tacoma. I found out the other night. Poured it out there, and they were, in other words, like when they were lucky that those people accepted that emergency housing voucher and was able to put them into the regular voucher program at that housing authority. So that was a blessing, and that's the only out that we have. Due to the fact is the other housing authorities, they can use that the tenant
Protection voucher.
tenant protection voucher. They can use it, but we can't use it, and they're not going to use it due to the fact is Bremerton Housing Authority is at a shortfall.
So they're at a shortfall. And right now she's saying that her security blanket, her family is here, right? So porting out is not an option. So what other options does she have before she leaves quickly?
I don't want to say what the other man said, but it was deep. You know,
But other people need to hear it. Can you share it?
He said, "You effed us," and
Yeah, you don't have to use the language, but yeah.
But that's what he said.
It's basically you effed us. You're saying you ain't got nothing for us, so basically we're effed. That's
Wow.
basically what he said. We're effed. And technically, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm screwed too myself.
Just left out in the cold.
Basically,
there's no solution.
I
There's
came
no
out the cold
recourse.
to get housing.
There's no
Quit
alternative.
drugs.
Mhm.
Got my life straightened out. Got my son. He's autistic and stuff. So now I gotta, he has to face the music though. But we might end up back in the shelter where I don't want to end up, and there's no shelters here.
That makes 3 that was on it because the other young man, his son is handicapped also, and another young lady, her son is autistic as well, but and severe with a lot of stuff going on with them. So these people have been compliant. We have people that were in their cars. We have people that's following in their recovery. They're worried about relapsing.
Mhm.
They've been doing what they're supposed to do, working with their case manager. They're just not.
I don't want to cut you off, but I know you need to leave. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any last words that you wanted to say and share.
Don't forget to take your mic off.
Okay, all right.
But we'll go ahead and get the information to you because what I want to tell the people, I know the Eastern Regional Director, not Eastern, I'm sorry, but our Deputy Regional Director. And my thing is that for us to come up with a plan, go to Olympia, they're tired of, in Olympia, when Bremerton Housing Authority and ever since Sarah and all them been going down there to Olympia, the people that's on Section 8 or in public housing, they never go to support them. Number one thing, I believe Olympia is tired of just hearing from them.
Mhm.
I think we're more stronger and powerful if we all come together and go together. See, they're hearing from them. Well, they need to hear from the people that this is affecting. They need to hear our stories. Then they need to know, we know you got the money. Where is that money going and why we can't get it? And then if Seattle has over 700, she said 700 or 750.
750. There's a lot of people over there.
Yes, that they receive those emergency vouchers, those people being unhoused. But they do get to use that money, the tenant protection voucher program. And then Tacoma gets to use her Pierce County. The other counties do because they're not at a shortfall like we are. Then I did ask about the CMS money. And then thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And now, what is the CMS money?
She really didn't go into that when I asked about the CMS money, but what we gathered, it hasn't been spent yet or allocated out yet because that's when the young man got upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I asked about the CMS money, and then I also asked about the PHA money, which that's fundings they get from the city.
Okay, now you're throwing acronyms around. So what is CMS?
I'm gonna tell you something. That's all I was told.
Okay.
The CMS, I didn't get that.
All right. So it's a pot of money.
A pot of money. That's,
So in other words, there's 3 different alternatives.
Got you. Okay.
For funding.
All right.
On the table
So there's CMS,
at this point.
and there's the PHA.
And then it's the tenant protection voucher program money that they just received $6.1 million. It's on the internet. He pulled it up, Mr. Morgan.
So the question now is, why can't Bremerton Housing have access to this funding?
And they're saying that they can't have access because they've overspent.
They're in a shortfall.
They're in a shortfall.
We got to say what they said.
Shortfall. Okay.
Well, their shortfall is pretense. We need updated information why they don't have current access to the new funding. That's the new dilemma. That's the new question.
And when you asked, what was the answer that you were given?
So what's the solution?
She didn't have any answers for any of them. Wendy didn't. Wendy Westby did not have. They're here. They'll tell you they didn't have she didn't answer. That's why some people are cussing and saying all kind of stuff, telling her you had this meeting, you put this meeting together and you were unprepared. The meeting said questions and answers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you haven't answered not one of our questions. So why are we here? That's what the frustration was about. You have us here, but you haven't answered one question. You're repeating yourself, saying the same thing over and over. And this is why some client was very upset and belligerent, which I can understand. He's about to be homeless and he has a disabled child, single father. been in his recovery, doing all the right things, following his case manager.
Well, we see how this town deals with its homeless, right?
Huh. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, we do know how we do that.
So my thing is, I think that we need to get some letters out. I would like to see a lot of us use gather together, go together, transportation system, and I'll go down to Olympia. We got to let our voices be heard instead of sitting here doing nothing.
Mhm.
And then my thing is, we need all of us, not just only a few of us jump in the fire. That's not going to get us no damn where.
No.
All of us need to come together and go to Olympia, and let them know how we feel, what they're doing, the cause and the effect. And we need answers. If our own people here in our community, in our county can't answer the questions, then let's go where? Because, in other words, was Wendy Westby the fall guy?
Yes.
Well, who is she?
Basically, all I can say is she was just a sheep and she was thrown in the lion's den.
But I mean, what is her
Yeah,
role
she's
at the
under-
Bremerton Housing
she-
Authority?
Jill Stanton, I believe, is our
Executive director.
executive director.
Right.
So, and she's under Jill.
Okay,
So I'm sure it's assistant.
I'll look it up. Okay.
Yeah, look it up so we can have it correct, because we want to make sure everything is correct.
Tony, can we hear from you? Just from your perspective, roll this out for me. From your perspective, what's going on here? Because
Well,
this is insanity
the
to
way
me.
I see it, somebody has had their finger in the pie and they've made some serious financial mistakes, and they didn't let people know, and there's no solution, no recourse. There's, they're not taking seriously the fact that people need a place to live, and it seems like they just took it upon themselves to not even care about offering any kind of solution to people's housing needs. And there's other programs out there, they're not even investigating access to help funding that's available out there. And we need somebody that can deal with Bremerton Housing Authority and find out why they're not seeking funding when funds are available by discipline, by discipline the the TPV voucher, which is a HUD voucher, and then the other two vouchers Miss Jackson mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That's the starting point.
There she is.
What'd you say?
Is that her
There's
there?
Wendy. Yeah, that's her right there.
All right. So it says she joined the Bremerton Housing Authority as the HCV Programs and Project Director in February 2025. Prior to joining the Bremerton Housing Authority, Ms. Westby worked for the Everett Housing Authority. During her 19-year career at EHA, she advanced from an entry-level HCV position to a management, serving as the department director for 10 years. And so she is the Housing Choice Voucher Program and Housing Project Director. So that is her title.
That's her title, but she had no answers.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate because it sounds like she should have some answers.
Mm.
Um,
She should.
well,
Because the clients, and they had done research. There was several of them had knew about the tenant, project. Is it protection vouchers? You know what I'm saying? The tenants knew more than what she was, or maybe she was holding back. And that made it more frustrating for the tenants.
I can get why you wouldn't want to alarm, 30 families last year that this could be going away, but at the same time, you would want to give people as much leeway as possible, right? There's only 40 months left before 2030 comes up, right? When you know that the voucher was going to end, right? But right now, you've got 40 months left to work on whatever you're working on. You might be in school, you may be on a career path, working on an apprenticeship, whatever the case may be, right? But now you got about what 4 months left,
4 months.
right?
to get
That's
the
it.
job.
Yeah. So not a lot of time to figure it out, right? And I highly doubt that anyone that's in this program is at the tail end of whatever it is that they were working on. So to have heard that last year, to say, hey, things aren't looking great.
Well, they knew in 2024.
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying.
they
So
said
2
the
years
books
ago to say, hey,
But if you
this ain't
remember,
looking good.
you were at the meeting that we had at the Norm Dix building when they had the 300 Section 8 vouchers and was given out. If we would have known on March 16th when we went to that training,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe it's March 16th or 15th, but it was that last day because I held a workshop and signed 43 people up for those jobs. I would have took my 5 people that was in this emergency housing voucher and switched them over right then. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
That was problem solving right there.
Right.
Then I did raise the question to Miss Wendy because I was trying to problem solve when I was on. Is there any possible way that they could partner with the Kitsap housing Kitsap, excuse me? And she said that was a good idea, but if we could go ahead, because they have a lot of public housing, project-based houses, Housing Kitsap does, and she said that they're all turned over to Section 8 vouchers.
They're all turned over to Section 8 vouchers.
They turned all their project-based or public housing, they all turned over. Isn't that not what she said? She said they all turned over, they transitioned over to Section 8 vouchers.
Which is a confusion for me because I thought I had regular Section 8. I didn't know I had emergency. So that's my confusion.
Yeah, a lot of them were confused. They thought they were on a regular voucher and that wasn't explained to them.
So could that be a solution? Switch these 30 families over to a regular Section 8 voucher?
We don't have it. We're at a shortfall.
And there is no waiting list.
Why is there no waiting list?
It's closed.
It's closed and we're at a shortfall. We can't open up something if we're at a shortfall. You have to realize we paid October's rent using December 2025's money.
What they were doing is stealing from Paul to pay Peter.
Wait.
As they
Say that.
call
Wait,
it.
hold on. You paid October's rent. You mean using December 2026 money?
Yes. Last year. No. Let's get it straight.
Okay.
They used October 2025. They didn't have the money. So what they did, they said in the board meeting, it's in the minutes and it should have been in the minutes, I was in that meeting, that they used December 2025's money to pay October's rent for the Section 8 people.
So they were a month in arrears.
That's
Wow.
2 months.
They're behind 2 months.
Yeah. So you imagine if you keep doing that,
Right.
you're never catching
You're
up.
never catching up.
And then no telling how. And I think that's a piece of the shortfall.
So basically, all these housing authorities, even Kane County and Pierce, are short funded.
So I
They're
don't.
operating on a shortfall,
So if they did that
not just kids.
in October, if they paid October with December's money, and now we find ourselves in August, did they say in that meeting how they've righted the ship? Because now it's 8 months later. Or 10 months later.
No, she didn't have no answers. This is information I knew that I got from the meeting that I brought to the forefront. She didn't bring it to the forefront. I did because I attended that board meeting.
Wow.
That's how I found out.
Wow.
And then I've been reading up by contacting Olympia about the PHA money, the funds you get from the city, and then the CMS, funding. Someone just blew that in my ear.
So do we have any attorney working on this? To help?
There's supposed to be one from what Tacoma you said?
And everything. I'm talking to an attorney.
Yeah.
And to get some sense of direction, to come up with a plan, that can give us some type of guidance since the Bremerton Housing Authority can't give no guidance.
Also to find out what guidelines Bremerton Housing's under, their obligations to the public, whether it be a RCW law or what's the regulation on their end. I mean, what's their guidelines? I mean, did they go out of their guidelines when they dipped into this money? And what's the recourse of it? I mean, are they going to be reprimanded? Or there's so many questions out there.
Well, I mean, what can you do? I mean, you can't get, blood from a rock at this point. I mean, So I've got the website up for everyone online, and I'm just looking to see if there's any information on here. Again, Deborah, if you hadn't contacted me, I didn't know anything about this. So,
Well, when I was in my board meeting with the Salvation Army, they didn't even know about it, and they had got 5 vouchers. So now they gotta contact their people that they put on the program. And they go, well, why we didn't know? They didn't know. And then Mr. Moore would not have known if I wouldn't have told him about it and to check his email. Because Pastor Johnson had got a hold of me and asked me what's going on with the Bremerton Housing Authority. And that's when he told me about the young lady who had just left, about she had received a letter. I said, well, let me find out what's going on here. And then so she sent me her letter, and then that's when I contacted Mr. Moore and asked him to check, and then he checked and he said he did get the letter. He was on the program, on the list.
On the chopping block.
and this is it here, the emergency housing voucher.
Yep.
And so right now I'm not seeing any update.
I just think I would like to take this more to the media, the Fox News, to Cairo, to Como 4, you know what I'm saying, to the newspaper. And that's what we really need to get that out there so people can know how we're being affected, I mean, our homeless people are already shipping homeless people from other states and other cities to Kitsap County. Our homeless is on the rise, and this is making it rise more.
Well,
we're about prevention. This is not prevention.
I have some disagreement on that statement that you made there.
Okay.
I think more of that is the fact that what they're doing here through our city council and our developers building unaffordable housing or market rate housing is making the residents that already live here make it where it's already unaffordable. And the people that have grown up here or have been living here for a while cannot sustain their living. And those are the ones that are downsizing, then moving into their cars, then moving into the streets and moving into the shelters. That's what we're seeing. That's why it's growing, right? And now you got 30 families that are in danger of becoming unhoused. So it's not that they're being shipped here. It's the ones that have been living here that are becoming unhoused.
They are by being at the working with the shelter.
Well, that's just part of it.
Yeah, that's just.
But that's the big part of it, right? So it's people that we know, right? And I say that because I'm feeding them almost 7 days a week, right? So they're the familiar faces.
But then we're dealing with them down there at the Salvation Army. They're being shipped and housed there.
No,
remember,
I'm on the board too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
yeah. But I'm just saying they're getting a lot there.
Well, a big reason why we get so many transients from other state and areas because they know they can get help here in Washington State. But they can't get help
in the state, but not here in the city. The people that are here we're getting off topic. So I want to keep it germane to the topic, right? But the folks that are suffering are Bremertonians, right? Are Kitsap people. They're not folks from King County. They really are people from here, right? And that can't be lost because they're folks that we see every day, right?
And grew up with.
Right? So that can't be lost because what's happening is there's a lot of apathy for folks that are like, well, these people aren't even from here. And it's like, no. These are people you went to school with. You know what I'm saying? And that part is getting lost, right? And these 30 families are people that were from here. So then if we're getting the message out that these 30 families, y'all ain't from here, so we ain't even got to help y'all. Yeah, you should lose your voucher because y'all ain't from here. Go somewhere else. Go ahead and port your voucher out somewhere because y'all weren't from here anyway. See, so if you mix the message, then it's like y'all should just go somewhere else anyway because you ain't from here. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I got you. So you don't want to muddle the message. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
I was going to say I can't.
Well, then, when did you come here?
The first round was in 2017. Second round was after my baby mama died in 2022.
Okay. So, but you've been here since 2017 till now, right? Yeah. So you've been here 9 years, right? So but you didn't come here last year. That's what I'm talking about, right?
No, I didn't, yeah.
So what I'm saying is what people are saying, NIMBYs and naysayers are like, people are coming over here on the ferry. People are paying people to come here and people are dumping their homeless over here. But that's what I'm saying. That's not happening. Right.
No, that's not happening.
So,
Most
you wanna
people
be-
that I know down there on 6th Street, they're all people that I knew from 5 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
They're all Bremertonians.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So I want to be clear on that.
They're
Yes,
still
yes.
the same people.
Thank
They're
you.
still my
Right.
friends.
Thank
I
you for
still
bringing
talk to
perspective
them,
to
and I still wish they get clean and sober. So, I have a lot of hopes for them people down there.
That's right.
They're still my friends.
And we don't have a lot of solutions. So at the same time that we're watching this crisis happen with these 30 families, we have city council folks that don't want to open the shelter here, just not even less than a mile away
What
from here.
shelter?
That's a whole nother
It
argument.
used to be a shelter. It used to be called Salvation Army.
No, that's a whole nother argument. But there's a shelter that Bremerton Housing Authority has bought property to open, which could also mean why there's a shortfall of money. And now city council is trying to freeze that, right? That project. So if these families become unhoused, there's nowhere for them to go.
It's nowhere for them to
Right.
go.
So they're getting squeezed on both ends. It's a huge issue. This is a huge issue.
So
No.
that lady from the housing said the
Wendy.
shortfall was the lady you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
her name.
Westgate.
She said it was a $2.5 million shortfall in the voucher program.
In the voucher program?
Yeah,
Mhm.
There's a lot of money missing.
$2.5 million missing for funding.
See, so there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, right? Because
Mhm.
you don't use your grocery money to pay your rent, right? At least you're not supposed to,
You're not supposed to, but I will.
right?
But I need a place to live.
Right. But businesses aren't supposed to do that. So if you've got voucher money, right, they are not supposed to use that money. Like you have capital funds to build, right? They're not supposed to use some of their other funding for capital funding, right? Nonprofit, right? There's
Yes.
strict money on how you use that money.
Correct.
They're not supposed to do that. So if they have a shortfall on a voucher, where did that money go? Was it a shortfall because you overspent on the voucher, or did you go over here and say, hey, we can just dip into this and spend over here and we know we can get it back somewhere, and then it didn't happen, right? Those are the questions we need answers to.
And
Right.
the new word that they use about that is shifting money. That's
That's
the
what
word they use.
Is
Shift.
that what
Yeah.
I heard?
Yeah, shift.
And so that's what you mean, right? Like, hey,
Mhm.
sometimes you got to use that grocery money to pay the rent,
Sometimes you
right?
got to, man. I'm sorry, man. We might have to be starting for a little week. Don't worry, I'll get you a little something to snack on. But
Well, it ain't like the old days where you could write a check and the check would float, right? Because, by the time it clears, you're good to go, right?
Yeah,
You can go ahead and write that check and keep the lights on and you're good. It ain't like that no more. That thing checks, that clears immediately. So you
Yes.
can't play that game no more. So, yeah, it ain't like that. The old days, boy.
My thing is still to come up with a plan, put it out there to the people, share this podcast. Everybody needs to wake up because I just don't believe it's just going to be these 30 people. We already know the SHP vouchers. That ends July of 2027, and half of those people that was on when we gave out those vouchers March 16th of 2024. When we gave out those vouchers and everything, these people were at, remember that last appointment? Yeah, I think you had some clients too. I had two in that last meeting. And then 2 days or a day before they were supposed to get their voucher, that's when they cut them off. And so some of our clients were able to go ahead, two of mine that was in that meeting to receive their voucher, was able to go and receive a SHP voucher. And they were guaranteed and promised that they were going to get a regular voucher, but now that's not true. So when July of 2027 comes, when the SHP voucher ends and everything, those people are going to be unhoused. And how many is that?
I'm not sure.
No, I'm just putting that out there.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's how it's increasing.
Yeah.
Then next, let's look at the other vouchers that we have. The 300 that they gave us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are they on the chopping block, as you call it, next?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We didn't already got all of the first ones, the emergency housing vouchers. Next is the SHP vouchers. Then the ones that they gave out March 16th, 2024. And then what about the people that's been on for a lifetime?
Sounds like we need to contact the state attorney general's office
Yes, and then another thing
as a
that
starting point. You mentioned going right to the top.
yeah, and that's I believe our deputy regional director and everything contacting him because he's over this region 10 to find out what are you doing about BHA having a shortfall. How can that be fixed and remedied because everybody else gets to use, you know, the tenant protection voucher program, and we're the only ones that don't get to use it, and everybody else gets to use it because they're not at a shortfall. Only Bremerton Housing Authority.
So, Deborah, we are coming up on November elections. So, who can we pressure right now that are coming to us and wanting our vote? Because
Well,
a lot
I
of folks are
believe
doing that. We've got Tara
you
Simmons
mentioned,
and
yeah.
some several others.
You
And
mentioned you shared at the meeting you were with. You said you brought it briefly up to Emily.
no,
Ray.
I wanted to. I raised my hand, but I didn't get called on. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people in the room, so I didn't get a chance to speak with her. Unfortunately, so that was my intent, but I didn't get a chance to talk. So
I believe the state attorney general's office is the starting
the state
point.
attorney general.
Yeah, I have a friend in Covington who went to high school with that guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get on the phone as soon as this meeting's over with this evening and do some research.
When you do that, will you reach back out to me? Are you going to do a phone call? Are you going to do an email?
I'm gonna do a phone call.
A phone call?
Yeah.
Would you reach out? Tell me who that is. What I like to do is draft a letter. I'll come back on and do a podcast and show people what my letter looks like. Show them
Yes.
who to write, and do a form letter. And then I will share that with my audience. And then if they want, they can take my form letter and then do it, and then they can send it out.
Yeah, because I also
Because that makes
did
it
a let-
easier when they know where the address is and where to send it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to do it for them, and it's like, hey, all you got to do is just copy this and just send it off,
Yeah,
right?
send it.
And
But
I'll do a
also did
podcast on that.
I think you should because Jill had asked me already would I write a letter. She had contacted me last week. She said, "Oh, I saw you had called and everything. I was about to call you." She was going to ask if you can write a letter because I wrote letters before,
Okay.
and so I did draft the letter. But she was supposed to get back with me and let me know who to send it to.
Loop me in on that, and I will do that with her as well.
Yes,
Yep.
because and I still been waiting, and the whole week went by, and I still haven't heard. And I did email and ask if I was still waiting to get this letter out. Who should I send it to? And then since everybody's running, hell, send it to all of them. Representative, Congress.
No, you're absolutely right. They're all running. They want our vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want our vote. Our vote isn't free,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
You want to represent us, then you represent us. You don't get it for anything. We want tangibles. We want something
And
tangible
just
for the
keep
vote.
Sitting on this stuff, sitting on that. This is something that we all need to act on right now. Not next week, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, not Thursday. We really need to act because I'm working in the office all day tomorrow after church.
If this was your family or if this was you, you would want folks to act on your behalf
Correct.
immediately.
And I love this community. I'm a Bremertonian.
Likewise.
Uh-huh.
I graduated to being one.
Yes, and I'm a West High Wildcat.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm an OC Ranger. I've been here since '97.
Well, we're former OC Rangers too. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, OC Rangers. We're alumni. Us also. Yeah, all the way back.
Yeah, both ways,
Yeah.
student and instructor, teacher. So
Yes.
1977.
97. Man, you just keep throwing it out there. I was 4 years old.
1977, 78.
Wow.
Perfect college range.
And right before then, Upper Bound, we lived in the
Yeah,
dorms.
yeah.
Yeah, OC was a college back then?
Yes.
Wow.
The president's
High school.
office now was my dorm room.
Was that when Washington became a state?
And there's
Were they still? It was still a colony.
That was my first dorm room. Yeah,
Wow.
where the president's office is. Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a lot of history.
You know what? In better times, it'd be really great to have a conversation with y'all and just kind of chop it up about just history like that. Just talk
Yes.
about
We're one
that.
of the last of the Mohicans trying to carry the torch.
Yeah, no,
There we
that
go.
that would be
Yes.
awesome, man. Just to
Yes.
chop it up and talk about those times and what it was
Yes.
like, growing up in Bremerton during that time. She and I have had conversations about that, and stories that probably can't be told on the airwaves,
My
but
grandmother used to walk downtown Bremerton when they had cobblestone streets.
Yeah.
Man, Bremerton.
Wow, really?
Yeah, very good friends would have been working for him.
Used to get up at 4 o'clock every morning. They'd be walking down Pacific Avenue at 7 o'clock a.m.
Wow.
Conversate.
So y'all do love your city,
Yeah.
for
Oh
sure.
yes. Oh
We
yes.
care.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Oh yes.
All right.
Seahawks games on.
Yeah. Oh, trust
Oh,
me, I'm keeping
Marwan,
up
we
winning
want to
league right
say
now.
we
We're
want to
7-0.
thank the conduit for having us on and hearing our voice and let our voices be heard and hearing the pain and the struggle that our clients and the tenants of Bremerton Housing and the fear. The fear is so high you can cut it with a knife. So I just want to send a message out to the people. Please contact me. You can put my number out there. Text me so I can know who you are. 360-689-0316. Remember, we have to do this together. Don't sit back and say, "I'll let them do the work and let me reap the benefits."
One more time, 360.
360-689-0316.
All right. For all of you that are listening, Deborah Jackson's number is 360-689-0316. Do call her. Texting her is good, is probably
Text is
better.
nice, yeah.
She is extremely busy. Extremely. If you knew everything that this woman did, you would understand. And if you die, she'll take care of you too. She'll make sure that you look good. So, yeah, those are facts.
No,
But she make you look good before you go in the fire.
Yeah, before you
So
go in the fire,
she
yeah,
makes sure you're
yeah.
straight. But for real, she is busy, so do text her. But she is fighting and advocating for you and doing that. I want to make sure the gentlemen have a last word. We'll start over here with you, Tony.
I just want to say that we'll get started with the solution ASAP, and we're trying to keep hope alive.
All right. You, sir?
no, I have nothing else to say. Pretty much everything that needs to be said has already been said.
All right.
Yeah.
We just hope that the Bremerton Housing Authority hears this podcast
Mm-hmm.
and that hopes that Wendy was able to go back and grasp something from the meeting that we have.
I
that
think she
held.
did.
And then
She
there's
got
a
an earful.
forthcoming meeting coming next Tuesday.
On
Yes,
the
there
18th.
is.
On the 18th, there's another meeting, and I advise all Section 8 people, not just the emergency housing vouchers.
And that meeting is going to be
The tune in.
a Zoom meeting.
Mm.
And there's if you need a link
Yes, a link.
to
Yes.
participate, then you can get that information.
Yes.
Either from the letter that the housing sent you, or just text Miss Jackson and she'll
Yes.
text you back the link.
So
that you can participate.
I might try and attend that one too.
All right. Make sure
Yes,
you do.
I have an email from it. If they send me their email, I can go ahead and send the link because Wendy did send me the link.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
That's how I was able to get on
Okay.
because I sent her an email. So, but it takes all of us. For those that's been on forever and don't think this is not going to touch you, please don't think that. This concerns you as well.
Mm-hmm.
It does.